Hello everybody, how are you? That's me, Nas Morgan. Today we are going to study 20 English idioms to improve our speaking skills. If you want to improve your speaking skills, just watch this video and try to write down all the idioms and the phrases. I have written the translation in Arabic for you. If you know or you study this idioms and the phrases well, I know and I'm sure you are going to speak English fluently. Just let's get started. Welcome back everybody. Now let's start studying these idioms and the phrases, and I advise you to write down all these idioms and the phrases and translation in Arabic if you want that. So let's get started. Number one is to change one's mind. To change one's mind, which means to change one's opinions or one's decision. For example, Example 1, Sheldon wasn't going to take a vacation this year, but then he changed his mind and went to Sharm el-Sheikh for 2 weeks. So Sheldon was going to take a vacation, but he changed his mind or he changed his opinion and he takes another decision. Example 2, why aren't you applying to engineering school this year? Did you change your mind about becoming an engineer? So here, change your mind, which means, did you change your opinion or did you change your decision? Number 2, easier said than done. Easier said than done, which means more difficult than you think. Let's see some examples. You want to climb Mount Everest? Easier said than done. So it's easy to say that you want to climb Mount Everest, but it's very difficult to do that, which means easier said than done. Another example, moving into a new home is easier said than done. Moving into a new home is easier said than done. So it's easy for anyone to say that I will move to another home or another country, but this thing is not easy. It's very difficult to do. So it's easier said than done. Another idiom, to get canned. To get canned, which means to lose one's job or to get fired. For example, after Dan got canned, it took him a long time to find a new job. So you can say after Dan was fired, it took him a long time to find a new job. So get canned, to be fired from your job. Another example, Sarah is a lousy secretary. She deserves to get canned. Lousy secretary, she is not a good secretary. So she deserves to be fired or to get canned from her job. Another example, to hang in there. To hang in there, which means to preserve or to not give up. Not give up, which means, let's say some examples, sorry. I know you're 4 games behind, but you can still win the tennis match. Just hang in there. Or don't give up. Don't give up, you are going to win. Another example, hang in there, Ali. Your invention will soon be a success. Or don't give up, Ali. Your invention will soon be a success. Another idiom, if worst comes to worst. If worst comes to worst, which means in the worst case or if absolutely necessary. Let's take some examples. Of course, you have the translation in Arabic if you want to know the meaning in Arabic, but I prefer to speak only in English. And if you want to know the meaning, it's in front of you. Example 1, my car isn't running well. If worst comes to worst, I can take a taxi to school. So now you know the meaning, if worst comes to worst. Another example, I know you're running out of money. If worst comes to worst, you can always sell some of your jewelry. Another idiom, to keep one's chin up. To keep one's chin up. You know the word chin up. That means to stay positive. Let's see some examples. Even when I was unemployed and homeless, I managed to keep my chin up. Even when I was unemployed means when I was out of work, I didn't have work, and homeless, I managed to keep my chin up, or I managed to keep positive. Another example, keep your chin up. You'll find your lost dog soon. Keep your chin up or means stay positive. You will find your lost dog soon. Another idiom, last resort. Last resort, which means the last solution for getting out of a difficulty, the last solution for something. Let's see some examples. Strike action should be regarded as a last resort when all attempts to negotiate have failed. Strike action should be regarded as a last resort when all attempts to negotiate have failed. Another example, I have tried everyone else and now you're my last resort. I have tried everyone else and now you are my last resort, or you are my last solution. To live from hand to mouth. To live from hand to mouth, which means to barely have enough money to survive. That means you don't have enough money. You barely have enough money. Let's see some examples. Jenny was earning $5 an hour working at the store. She was really living from hand to mouth. So if you don't have enough money, or if you have a low salary in your job, that means you live from hand to mouth because you barely have enough money to survive. Another example, George is really poor. He lives from hand to mouth. George is really poor. He lives from hand to mouth. That means he doesn't have enough money. To look on the bright side. To look on the bright side, which means to be optimistic. To think about the positive part or aspect of a situation, which means to be positive, to be optimistic. For example, Leo was upset that his soccer game was canceled. His mother said, look on the bright side. Now you can stay home and watch TV. Example 2, you lost your job. Look on the bright side. Now you'll have more free time. So look on the bright side means be optimistic. Another one, to make ends meet. To make ends meet, which means to manage one's money so as to have enough to live on, to be okay financially, which means to have your money, to arrange your money so as to have enough to live on. Let's see some examples. Kimberly wasn't able to make ends meet, so she had to ask her parents to pay her rent. Another example, if you can make ends meet, you will need to start spending less. Number 11, out of work. Out of work, which means unemployed or not working. That means you don't have a job now, out of work. For example, Gary was out of work for a year before finding a new job. Gary was out of work for a year before finding a new job. Another example, Bob is out of work. Do you know anybody who might want to hire him? Bob is out of work means Bob is unemployed. Do you know anybody who might want to hire him? Number 12, right-hand man. Right-hand man, which means the most helpful assistant or employee. For example, he is the CEO's right-hand man. Another example, when Jack Thompson retired as president of his company, his right-hand man took over. So right-hand man, which means the most helpful assistant in a company or in a school, in any place. Number 13, to set eyes on. To set eyes on, which means to look at or to see for the first time. Some examples. I was in love from the moment I set eyes on my wife. So from the first time I saw my wife, I fall in love with her. I was in love from the moment I set eyes on my wife. Example 2, Susan knew from the moment she set eyes on Ted's friend, Lucas, that he would be trouble. So when she looked to Thomas, or Ted's friend, she knew that he would be trouble. Number 14, to stab someone in the back. To stab someone in the back, which means to betray someone. Of course, you will not stab him with a knife, but it means that you betrayed him, to betray someone. Let's see some examples. Jill and Heather were friends until Heather stabbed Jill in the back by stealing her boyfriend. Another example, you're firing me after all I have done for this company. You're really stabbing me in the back, or you're really betraying me. Another one, number 15, to be stressed out. To be stressed out, which means under severe strain or very anxious. Ali is so stressed out about his job that he can't sleep at night. Ali is so stressed out, or he was under severe strain about his job that he can't sleep at night. Another example, you've been so stressed out lately. You really need to take a long vacation. You've been so stressed out lately. You really need to take a long vacation. Number 16, to tell off. To tell off, which means to scold someone. For example, when Ted showed up for chemistry class half an hour late, his teacher really told him off. Example 2, Patty is going to tell off the plumber because the pipes he said he fixed are still leaking. Number 17, thank goodness. Thank goodness, which means I'm grateful, I am relieved, I'm grateful to Allah, I'm grateful to my God. Example 1, when Ted came home at 4 a.m. last Sunday, his mother said, thank goodness you are home. I was so worried about you. Thank goodness. Another example, thank goodness you didn't go to California on Monday. It rained there every day this week. Thank goodness. Number 18, to think big. To think big, which means to set high goals. For example, why run for governor of New York? Think big. Run for president of the United States, not only governor of a city or a state. Think big, run for president of all the states. Example 2, Ken and Sandra hope to sell their house for $3 million. They always think big. Number 19, what's the matter? What's the matter, which means what's the problem? What's the matter, Bob? You don't look very happy. What's the matter, Bob? You don't look very happy. Another example, Oscar looks very pale. What's the matter with him? Number 20, when pigs fly. When pigs fly means never. Have you ever seen pigs fly or the animals fly like elephant or pigs? Or no, of course. So when pigs fly means never. For example, I asked my boss if I could go on 2-month vacation. He said yes when pigs fly. That means he didn't agree to give him a vacation. Another example, sure, I'll give you my new laptop. When pigs fly, that means he will not give him his laptop. And that's the last. This is the last. This was the last idioms and the phrases. I hope that you have enjoyed with me. Try to study them. If you have any comments, just write it on the comments. If you like the video, please just like it and try to share it with your friends. Thank you so much and see you soon. Goodbye.